All right, the Las Vegas Raiders just did something crazy. We're all sitting here talking about, is Wilkins going to come back? What does it look like? Is he going to be back for the beginning of the season? Oh man, is he going to be back in the middle of the season? What is this going to look like? And we now have an answer. He won't be back. Give me your thoughts right now. Before I get into mine, give me your thoughts. Is this a smart move by the Raiders? Is this a dumb move? Is it short-sighted? Is it long-sighted? What is it? I want to know what you have to think. How are you feeling right now? Obviously, the team is not as good without Christian Wilkins. That's a duh. But long-term, is this a better decision? Is this a better decision? We're going to get into that. But first, if you are new to this channel, my name is Craig. We are from Michigan. You see I got my Tigers stuff on here. Long connection between the Bad Boys Pistons and the Raiders. And we are a channel that loves talking NFL football. We have another one, Sports Talk Detroit. That's our main one. We have this channel. We want to be your go-to place for those stories that aren't always talked about. Now, this one definitely is. The teams that aren't always talked about. If you love the Raiders and just love NFL content, please hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you. So let's just get into it. The Raiders have released, they said bye-bye to Christian Wilkins. I'm going to go ahead and show you this statement. This is a statement from the Raiders organization. We have decided that it is in the best interest of the organization to move on from Christian Wilkins, and he has been informed of his release from the team. This franchise has a commitment to excellence on and off the field with no clear path or plan for future return to play from Christian. This transaction is necessary for the entire organization to move forward and prepare for the new season. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about what happened. He got hurt last year and had surgery last October, all right? If you are going by month number, October is the 10th month of the year. Just keep that in mind. The typical timeline to return from a Jones fracture is 3 to 4 months. So if you have surgery in October, that means November, December, January, or February. By March, you should certainly be ready. The Raiders had OTAs in May, 7 months after he had surgery, and he was unable to participate, unable to practice. That was a clear sign that something was wrong. Okay, a very clear sign. And then they placed him on the PUP, the physically inactive to perform list, last week. It confirmed he wasn't ready to go for training camp. He's still not ready. May is 7, right? June, July. We are at 9 months. August, September, 11 months should have been no problem to get back. Now, sometimes the Jones fracture, you can re-aggravate it, and then you need to have another surgery. But again, 3 to 4 months recovery. Usually you re-aggravate it at some point in that. You do it like he could have had a Jones fracture surgery twice and still been ready for the regular season. That's crazy. Here's what we now know. Before OTAs began, back in June and May, the Raiders informed Christian Wilkins that he needed to have a second surgery on his foot. Team doctors said, it is time. You have to have a surgery. The first one didn't take, and or you ruined it in the rehabilitation process. Wilkins disagreed with the team and didn't get the procedure. That sparked a back and forth, don't you think? Don't you think the two sides wouldn't be very happy about that? And over the last few months, it has led the Raiders to what they did now, which was to move on from Wilkins. So let's figure out what this looks like monetarily, and then I'm going to give you the good news. All right, so this is a great article on The Athletic. It talks about his 4-year, $110 million contract where he gets $57.5 million guaranteed. All right, they got ends Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz in tow, so now they have a great defensive line. That never materialized. All right, here's what we're looking at here. The Raiders' voiding of Wilkins' remaining guaranteed money holds them, or remaining guaranteed money holds, then they'll just be on the hook for his prorated signing bonus through 2028. Wilkins originally received a $24 million signing bonus, but the Raiders restructured his contract in March of this year to create cap space. They converted $20.5 million roster bonus into a signing bonus and added a void year to the contract. That amount was prorated over the next 4 years in addition to his original signing bonus, which comes out to an annual cap hit of $10 million. If the Raiders' voiding of Wilkins' remaining guaranteed money holds, they're going to court over this. There's going to be a hearing. That's the way this is going to go. The Raiders are going to try and show that Christian Wilkins was not handling this correctly. Christian Wilkins' team is going to show that the Raiders were asking something bad. So let's just assume for a second that it goes well for the Raiders. All right? Let's just assume that it goes well for the Raiders. This is what his contract cap number would have been. This year, $18 million, so he saved $9 million. Next year, it would have been $38 million. The year after that, $34 million. I'm rounding up. All right? So you can either pay him $9 million through this time. There's the void year of 9.9. So it could be 9.95, 9.925, 9.925, 9.925, or you can pay all of this. I have a question. Would you rather have a disgruntled, clearly has an issue with authority in this, aging interior defensive lineman at $30+ million a year, or would you rather say, goodbye, we need a fresh start, this is not the type of thing we want in the locker room, goodbye, and let him go and pay $10 million a year to let him go? I personally, for me, it's clear. It sucks either way. But I would rather pay him $10 million a year and say goodbye. The Detroit Pistons, I always talk about this. Josh Smith came on our team. This was basketball, obviously. We traded for him, or we signed him in free agency. He was absolutely terrible, became a problem for the team, was not in alignment with the coaches, and we cut him. We released him, and in basketball, that is a 100% fully guaranteed contract, and that contract sat on the books for 5 more years at like $8 million a year, and this was back when the NBA salary cap, before it exploded, and it was so difficult because it hampered us. This will not hamper you as much. This is like 3% of the cap, of the salary cap, and each year going forward, that's it. Back when it happened with Josh Smith, it was like 15 to 20% of the cap. And so, like, yes, this can be fine. And this is what Pete Carroll had to say. He said, we took a long time to make our decision. We watched our way through the whole thing. We're keeping it really clear with what we said. I think there was no clear path to his return, so we just had to move on. In other words, he's like, I'm not getting surgery. You understand this is essentially him saying, I'm not getting surgery. I know I'm not healthy enough to play. Dude's wearing a walking boot. So he's essentially saying, I refuse to play. When talked about what's next, he said, this place is about competition. It always has been. It's wide open. I'm not going to talk about any names right now. If you watch the rotations, we're giving everybody a chance. We're mixing the starters with the backups all the way throughout, just to gather a bunch of information. Okay, who are these people? All right, this is according to PFF who you have. And this is where I think I'm kind of excited. You have Adam Butler out of Vanderbilt. He's been in the league. He's a year older than Christian Wilkins, and he has proven that he can be a reliable NFL player. Throughout his years, all right, he has maintained about what he is. He does not win with extreme athleticism or anything like that, but he is a good, solid defensive tackle. He's going to stay there. You bring Lalu back, all right? He's back. He's out of Oklahoma. He was a 7th-round pick. He's not going to get worse. He's going to get better. He played 474 snaps last year. He's going to get better. All right? Then you have some of the fun stuff. You got just a massive human out of SMU, Anthony Booker, coming in at 350. Like, okay, if he can't stuff the run, who can? All right? You got another UDFA out of Baylor, Laki Tassi. This is a very interesting one. We know nothing about him. He didn't go to college, right? You got J.J. Pegas, all right? I don't know how to pronounce that. Out of Ole Miss. My bad. 6th-round pick this year. Tonka Hemingway. I'm excited to see what he can do. I think he's one of those guys that because he played at South Carolina and because he's older when he got drafted, he fell. And then you have Zach Carter, who you got a few years back, 3rd-round pick out of Florida, 6'4". There's a bunch of guys that can fill the middle. And I know what you're thinking. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's good enough. And you can worry about it. And then you have to remember this. Oh, that's right. We still have Tyree Wilson. I forgot about that. Oh, that's right. We still have Malcolm Kuntz. And by the way, Tyree Wilson, if you can't get it going on the edge, put on some pounds, my friend, and move them inside, and NASCAR packages are already doing it. We still have Max Crosby. This is a loaded edge room. So what you need is bodies that you can rotate in the middle and then your playmakers on the edge. It'll work. It'll work. You just need guys that can hold their water. So I think it can end up being good news because you save a ton of money. It's an opportunity for young guys to step up and play meaningful minutes, and you're going to find a couple of guys out of there. I promise you. Pete Carroll doesn't do this unless he think he can. And the strength of your defensive line always was and always will be Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz, and hopefully eventually Tyree Wilson. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.